Hi guys, Brett here from Hearns Hobbies, and I've got Simon Healy with me here, and today we're going to get stuck into and building Yokomo's latest two-wheel drive buggy, the YZ-2 DTM 3.1.
Dirt version.
Dirt version. As you know, Simon is a guru of all things Yokomo off-road. So walk us through it, Simon. Let's get our build on.
Well, you can slice the box open.
Can we?
Yep, because
You can talk a little bit about it.
because this is going to be your car. Is that right?
Yep, absolutely.
So,
So you better not do a crap job on building it.
well, I can only match the driver.
Well, that's alright. You better be strong then. Well, so what are we greeted with? We're going to do a bit of an unboxing as we go.
So first of all, what's great about the DTM is you get the standard thickness body.
Yep.
Not the light, ultralight body. You get the standard thickness body, which obviously, when you're binning it heaps, it lasts a long time.
And that's what we call the F2 body, isn't it? I think that's called
No. Okay, yeah, sorry. Yes, you're right. I think you're right.
And
actually.
the one with the finny thing on the back, that's called the P2.
P2, correct.
Yeah, so
yes.
this is the F2 style body
Yep.
in the regular weight or
Yep.
heavy thickness,
Yep.
0.7,
Yep.
which is really good. I'm going to need that.
Same with the wing.
Yep.
You get. Well, that's the newest wing, which isn't the same wing. You can open it. That's yours.
Oh, alright.
Smash it
Oh,
open.
front wing. Can we put front wing? I've never had a buggy with front wing.
You can run the front wing if you like.
Hey, hashtag we are front wings.
You are.
So this is actually a new wing for the 3.1.
Yeah. Well, you talk. You get your wing out, and
how come there's two front wings here?
well, you got a thin one. Well, sorry, you got a small one and a big one. So
Okay.
you can have more downforce or less downforce.
I want them. I think we need maximum. They're going to need to keep. I'm going to try and run mod in this car, so I'm going to need to try and keep the wheels on the ground. You know,
I think it's more like keep the car on the track for you.
keep the car on the track, keep the rubber side down.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and these mouldings are actually made by J Concepts.
Correct. The bodies and the wings for Yokomo is actually made by J Concepts.
So they outsource that.
So very similar. Like you look at J Concepts bodies, they all look really similar. Whether it's Yokomo and any other brand, they all look very similar.
Yeah.
A lot of them will actually retrofit over.
Yep.
So the other brands, the bodies will fit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's
It's
your
probably
wings.
a handy thing about modern 1/10 cars.
So there's your decals for your body. If you're just going to paint it like if you're factory and pro like Brett, he'll paint it one colour.
What are these blue decals for?
They're your window masks for sticking inside
I like the
body.
driver to be able to look out, mate.
Well, you need to stick them on. You need to wash the body first though.
Yeah.
Stick them on and then paint your car.
I might get BJ to do that bit.
There's your sticker sheet.
Yep. That's
So-
cool. Is that updated for the DTM 3.1 or is that the standard sheet that we're looking at?
No, you'll find the sticker sheet has been around for quite a few years.
Quite classy though, nonetheless.
Yeah.
It's got me all over it. Look.
So you'll get.
Hot lips. Oh, hot laps. Sorry.
I'm not even going to comment on that. So the two-wheel drive will have the standard will have the the orangey yellow accent around the lettering, where the four-wheel drive's blue.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Okay.
Easy for you to tell which one's
There's
which.
the instruction manual.
Oh, hello. What's that?
They've made a difference. So
Yep.
so what's awesome is let me just have a. Is you actually get a full list of.
Yeah.
Can you? Is that too bright? What's the go there?
No, I think that's all right.
Yeah.
BJ was pretty confident that we're on there.
So you get all the screws in one bag, and then you get a broken down list explaining to you what the screws are, the sizes, and how many you get.
Okay, so that's a full kit's worth of screws.
Yeah, so you actually get the full list separate to the manual,
Okay.
which means if you want to go and source stainless steel,
Titanium.
whatever, and
Oh,
you only
alright.
want to buy one particular size, you know exactly how many you need and what the size of it all is.
That's really cool.
So
That's a pretty good
you
feature.
you actually get a list like that.
Yep.
And that's what this notice in the manual's for, and this is new to 3.1s. The previous models,
Yep.
all the screws were just in their little bags with the parts.
Yep. Now
Okay?
we've got a whole screw
Now
bag.
you get an itemised list, and they're all in their own little bags in the screw bag now.
So it's all numbered.
Yep.
So a bag of one
So
screw.
you'll see a number next to the screw
Yep.
head, and that'll correspond to the bag with the number on it.
Oh crikey, there's lots of bags there. I better get some parts trays happening, hey?
Well,
But do you think it's going to be enough?
There's one for you.
We've got some bigger ones. You like that one?
I've got a couple of those.
Have you?
Yeah, I've got like 3 of them
Why?
when I've done the Nationals.
How'd you get 3?
I
Entered lots.
No, I had 3 entries.
Trophy hunter.
No, my daughter, my son and myself.
Very good.
So,
Right. Well, now you've got a screw loose. Now you can keep them on your parts tray.
yeah, that's right. There's
what
your
have
defect notice.
Oh, stick that on the windscreen.
Alright, let's just
Get the box out the way.
move that.
I'm going to need a cutty thing, aren't I?
Yeah.
Do some bag opening.
You are.
So what are we doing? What's step 1?
Get the chassis out of the box.
And it's a new chassis, isn't it, for this car?
Well, this chassis is the same length as the old Cal 3.
Yep.
The actual overall length is the same as the Cal 3, but it's a little different here. The Cal 3 will have some, you see the machining sections here. On the Cal you will have some machinings here. On the dirt version you do not.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, so they've got more flex in the carpet car.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much, yep.
We'll get that out of there. Look at, oh, it's not even scratched. Are we
Not
going to
yet.
use a bit of protection on this or not? Just run it raw?
I basically just get 3M, clear 3M that they use on the motorbikes and stick on the chassis.
Yep.
I just get a big sheet from the guys who print out all the motorbike stuff, cut it into squares and stick it on the chassis, and you know it doesn't wear. It's that thick, it doesn't wear. But if you're in stock and weight's your issue, you'll add about 22 grams to your chassis with
Really?
one,
Just with the protective layer?
with one clear 3M skin.
Not only that, but it must be hard to get to some of the screws.
It is. You've got to peel it up to get to some of the screws if they come. Particularly.
Around the gearbox.
No,
C block.
the C and D block.
Yep.
If you need to take them off, or you want to swap pills, or you want to go from, which we'll get into a little bit later, you got the low and the high blocks.
Yep.
If you want to change them, yeah, it's a bit of mucking around. Okay.
Alright, let's go.
So you've got all the screws out there.
Well, you want each and every bag open, do you?
No. Don't open all the bags. You need that though.
Alright, we'll need that. This is like a game of bingo.
It is with you.
Well, you never know what you're going to get. That's what Forrest said.
Did you say Boris? Boris or Forrest?
No, Forrest, mate.
Oh,
Forrest.
right.
You never know what you're going to get. What we've got here, I'll just put them in numbers and I can yell out bingo.
Rightio. So we don't need them yet. We're going to need them, and we're going to need some of them. So when you start your chassis,
Yep.
we've got that right there. We'll just unpack the side pods.
Yep.
There's the side pods.
We've got a bit of side pottage.
There's the snippers. You cut them out.
Oh, alright.
You can be the apprentice and do all the lackey work.
You can make sure you're the master then. Make sure this one goes together properly.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
2 mil.
2 mil.
2 mil driver.
Got our quality 9 steps tools here. And what screws do we need first, mate?
You are going to need metric 3 by 10
Yep.
mil tapered head.
Okay, that's bag number 2.
That is correct.
Bag number 2. Where are we, bag number 2? Here we go, bingo. We have bag number 2. How many of them do you want, mate?
We want 6 of those.
I've got 5. Sure you want 6?
Well, that's what the manual says.
Well, what would Manuel know? There we go, we've got 6 there.
So as you can see, the manual depicts coming up through the bottom of the chassis these 3 points here.
Yep,
So off you go.
get it screwed on. I've got my 9 steps.
Listen, before you go jamming that in there, some of the plastics sometimes are really firm. Like some of the plastics, the quality is really good.
Yeah.
Put a bit of grease on your screw.
Yep, I have got just such a grease.
Right behind you.
I like to use this in my assembly. Might be a bit of overkill.
So you just put a little bit of grease on the thread of the screw
Yep,
and screw it in. just to without the chassis.
It's going to go in all these lower points, isn't it?
Yeah, it just stops basically doing that.
Yep.
You know why you're doing that, don't you?
Well, it's like tapping it, isn't it?
No, what else? What's the other reason?
Lubricating it?
No, the most crucial reason. Stops the driver breaking the sidewalls of the head.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the driver doesn't wear out the head of the screw.
Well, that's the last thing we want.
Because you know it's like trying to get a screw out where the driver itself has pretty much wrecked it.
Well, I'll be the one driving it, so it's probably going to be pretty wrecked.
Well,
Is that?
I've got nothing to say to that one either.
No?
No.
So I'm just bashing this in all these holes down here.
Yeah, just bit of.
We'll get it started.
Yep.
Bit of lube in the
And
hole.
even though it's a fair bit of kind of mucking around,
Yep.
it makes it so much nicer to work on and so much easier to put the screws in and out. Stock guys, if you're after weight saving and you're using tie screws, do this.
That's a must, because tyres actually, though it's stronger, it's actually a little bit softer, isn't it?
That you can actually chew out the heads of the screws, particularly if your driver's a little bit
Warm.
yeah.
Well, we're using top quality 9 steps driver here, and it's not old, it's pretty fresh, but it has done probably a kit or two, this one.
You're all
I'd
good.
say that we should be pretty good on this one. So I'll do this work and then you can assemble it in the chassis. Is that what's going to happen?
We've got another 2mm driver.
I've got another 2mm driver somewhere. Do you want...
Tell you what, you buzz off and get another driver.
I'll get another driver.
I'll start
Where
putting
did it
this
go?
on.
I've got my whole toolbox here somewhere. Before you threw it on the ground.
It's up there.
Here it is. I don't think we'll be needing 3mm on this.
No. So when you've done that, the screws go in super easy. The thread's good, and they'll nip up nice and firm.
I'm back.
He's back.
Got some more drivers.
So you can see, like, the effort to put them in is minimal now.
Minimal.
Well, it's just not hard to put the screws into the plastic.
Yeah, but you probably make it look easy, mate. No?
No. Need the 3x8s too, please.
3x8s.
Tapered head.
That's bag number 1.
Really?
So how many of these kits have you done?
Me?
I suppose the DTM 3.1's a fairly new kit, but it is...
How many I've built?
How many Yokomos have you built lately? In the past year. Let's give it just a year.
4, 5.
Yeah? 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drives. I reckon you've built 5 4-wheel drives.
So I built 3 2-wheel drives.
Yep.
Alright, because we've got 2 DTM 3.1s and a Cal 3.1. So there's 3 2-wheel drives. 4-wheel drive.
Yep.
And my son built a BD10 on the weekend.
How good's that? Did you enjoy on-road?
He did.
Yep.
I just changed tyres and cleaned them.
Yep. It's a different ball game, isn't it?
No, it's just faster.
Same ball game, just faster.
Yep.
It's not quite as dirty though.
No. Where's the 8mm, mate?
Here you go, mate. That one's for you. I'll get you some 8mm. Do you believe that they've left a packet of screws out?
Really?
No. Not even close. I just can't find it. I think you've set me up.
No.
Here we go. Bag number 1. Hey, Beach.
Yeah.
What you doing sneaking around back there, mate?
He's taken up all the wires.
I'm doing a secret squirrel business.
Yeah.
Alright, how many of these ones do you want? The little 3x8s.
Well, we've got 3 on each side.
So we want 6 then?
Yep. He can count. His mathematics are good.
Wow. Are they?
Yeah.
Right.
So what's really awesome about, what I was saying before about putting that little bit of grease on the screws and tapping the threads, is it just goes together. Super nice and easy.
And it goes together with the screws in good nick.
Exactly. That's the important part. You don't chew out like you look. I mean, you get a little bit of backlash in the screws, but
sometimes, you know, I've built a couple of 8 scales lately, and they're super tight. And I actually go to the trouble of tapping them all by hand, which is quite a time-consuming effort.
Yep.
But that way you can feel when things are tight, and it's easy to work on. You don't need to put it together with a cordless drill.
No, cordless drills. If you haven't got that finesse using one, you do more damage than good.
Yeah, you'll wreck the kit the first time.
You stretch the plastic. You damage the heads in the screws where the driver's driving, and it's just, you know, it's just drama all around.
Now we are going to fit a couple of extras on this kit, aren't we?
We are going to put a few little option parts in here, because even though the kit bits are perfectly fine, you're going to be using this in modified.
Yep. Trying to, usually.
And they're not going to be fine for you.
Alright.
Because I know what's going to happen.
Yeah. You've seen the future.
The crystal ball has given us all an insight to you and modified.
Yeah. Well, we've seen me on track in stock, and that's enough for anybody.
Yeah.
So.
Don't discount yourself too much.
No, I'm not. I know what I am, mate. I know what I am. I'm not a beginner. I've been around the rodeo.
So there's a couple of bits that we replace, which I went over when we spoke about my car.
Yes.
And it's durability. It's just that little bit extra strength and durability. So there we go. That's
look at that.
There's your chassis with your side pods, which being the 3.1
is all different and revised now, isn't it?
Yeah. As we spoke about before, the side pod's one piece. Before it was separated into 2 pieces there.
And you could get an alloy sort of
upgrade. You could get an alloy option upgrade, and the carpet guys use the alloy one to, obviously, to stiffen up the front.
Yeah, where they milled it out.
Yeah, pretty much.
So now they've not milled it out on the dirt one.
No.
All right.
So
that is step 1. Can we call that step 1?
Well, that is step 1.
All right.
In the manual. So step 1's just
complete.
Yep. Side pods. What do we got here? We got step 2 is the Bellcranks, which is not that bag.
Not bag number 7. Have you got bag number 2 there? I reckon this could be bag number 2.
No.
That's pills and block.
I reckon it's in this one.
All right. I'll let you have a look in there.
That's 3.
That's number 3.
We're getting closer.
That's the rear waterfall and shock tower.
That's 5. That's not it. 6. There's
number 1. Hello. This is it.
Is it?
If there's not a Bellcrank in there, I'll go hey. Oh, and my favourite little part from the new car, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is like the sexiest part on the new car.
So, what do we got? There's the steering rack. We don't need those bits at the moment.
No.
No. So we'll get all these bits into focus. Get rid of that. Yep. Alrighty.
I've got a really handy little scale over here too, which shows all the parts sort of one for one.
Well, all the drawings.
Yep.
All the drawings on the side of the manual.
Shows us what parts we need for this step.
And that 1-to-1 means it's the actual size.
Yep.
So it's drawn in the actual size.
Alright, so do I need to get you some screws ready, mate?
Well, first of all, we're going to talk about what we changed. The 2 Bellcranks are perfectly fine in plastic.
Yep.
They actually, I would prefer to run in plastic because the bearings where they press into the plastic stay firm.
Yep.
But when you're banging off things, you know, you go flat out and you clip the pipe or you hit the pipe or you land crooked and the wheels take a really solid jolt. The ball stud, this ball stud here,
yep,
that screws into this threaded hole right here. Levers like that.
Yep.
In the plastic, it pulls the thread. That's the weakness.
Yep.
That's just a single. There's no other reason that I change these apart from when you have a bad crash or you clip something flat out with the wheels and
you can pull the thread out.
Well, levers on the plastic, in the plastic there, and I have broken 2 where I've split down the side here.
That doesn't surprise me.
And I've had Nathan has pulled the thread out of 1 And even Tamara in stock, she's had
Even in stock?
Hey, she's crashed and it's pulled the thread out.
I'm surprised because she doesn't crash much.
No.
I've seen you crash, but...
Well, that's my forte, I crash.
so we're not really increasing the performance?
No, we're increasing reliability.
So that's just as good. That's as good as upgrade as any.
The two plastics in the box.
In the box for later.
Yep. Keep them for spares. If you've got a friend that needs them or something like that, I just hand them out if someone's at the track and they need them. I just give them away. So we're going to chuck in the aluminium.
Yep.
Z2-201 BA3 alloy Bellcranks.
Yep.
You can open those.
Oh, all right.
All right. I'll find the bearings.
There's something rewarding about opening the header cards to your RC car parts. No?
No. When
like
you've done...
you can hear that it's money. Look at this. No? It sounds expensive, doesn't it?
It's all money.
And look at this beautiful... Look, it's inscribed with Yokomo on the side of it. How factory is that? I think that is the best thing ever.
It's pretty cool.
That's why I like it.
It's pretty cool. So, they're the
Is
bearings.
that ball raced factory?
Ball bearings factory.
This is why Yokomo's #1.
It's pretty good. They're steering posts. But anyway, you want them. So you've got to...
What have we got here? And probably because we're changing this height, we might even have to re-shim it, hey? Is this what we're headed for?
No, you don't shim that. You shim on the post later.
On the post later when you torque it down?
Yeah, so...
I can see what you mean, that the bearings aren't exactly a press fit in there, are they?
So you can't in aluminium because if it's a real tight press fit, look, you could use a mild
bearing blow.
You could use a mild Loctite, right? But getting them out if they're damaged or worn out is just going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So what you do is generally in the course of the life of your buggy is you shim it and you keep shimming it, and and when it gets to the point where they're worn out, basically replace them.
Yep.
That's what maintenance is all about.
That's exactly right.
So we've got two little hats here.
Hats.
We've got 1, 2. We'll put them in the white so you can see them.
See what's up.
We've got shims here.
Yep.
There's a couple of...
All those shims will be the same thickness, I can assume.
There's a couple of nuts there, like the two that's talking about this stuff now.
Yep.
So you got the plastic. If you want to talk in real car terms, it would be called the drag link.
Drag link.
If you're talking about a real car.
Yep.
Like an old HQ Holden or something, that'd be your era, wouldn't it?
We're a bit more advanced than HQ Holdens here, mate. This is a DTM 3.1. Come to the new age. This is electric.
Okay.
Hey?
So it's a Tesla.
It's the modern day Tesla. Do you think a Tesla runs a drag link?
Probably.
I don't think.
They got to pay for their battery somehow.
That's right.
Anyway, so you've got the rack here.
Yep.
These shims.
And the hats. Yep.
So you need to put one of those shims on that hat and one on that hat.
Yep.
Okay.
And you wouldn't want to be lubing this assembly, would you?
No, I do not lube this part here.
No.
As much as the manual, on some, it doesn't show it here, okay?
But it does encourage them, doesn't it?
It will. Some manuals will say to lube any point where it's got some kind of pivot or rotation or anything like that. But the problem with the steering is, if you lube it, it's going to attract dirt, dust, grime, grit, and then it'll get sticky.
Turn into effectively like a valve grinding paste, won't it?
It'll actually wear it away twice as fast, and your steering will get twice as much slop in it, and it'll just end up being horrible. So those hats have got to go in the top like that,
in the top
downwards.
like that.
Make sure, remember that the rack only goes one way. It's got to point upwards.
Yep. There we go. So it's got to look like a smile on your face.
That's
like
right.
That. Big smile.
So
hats in. Hats off, hats in. Yep.
Done that?
Hats are in, mate.
Alright, we'll just leave that like that.
Alright.
So we need 3x12, 2 of.
3x12.
Yep. 2
Countersunk?
No, button head.
Button head.
Yeah.
Button head. That's bag number 7. You're throwing a curveball at me again.
Well, that's why you need to look at your detailed list of bolts and screws.
I've definitely got them. I'm just struggling to identify it. Bag number 7.
Well, it's the one with number 7 written on it right there.
That'll do.
Even I can see it.
I'm glad you're here.
And I'm blind.
Well, not clinically, just emotionally. How many of these do we need?
2.
2. There we go.
Alrighty. So turn it upside down. You get these other 2, and they sit over to take up the because those little
Any lateral flex, I suppose.
no. It's because the actual bush is wider than the actual plastic.
Yep.
So they're like a thrust shim. Screws like that. Okay.
You've done that before. How many times have they fallen apart when you've been flipping them about?
Yep. And then what you do is you put your driver like that.
Yep.
And obviously, did you get any Loctite?
Loctite?
Yeah.
I can get Loctite.
We need a little. Have you got mild Loctite?
Of course.
Mild Loctite,
Alright,
please.
hang on.
So while he's off finding Loctite, we'll put a little bit inside the thread. Not too much on the screw, because we want the screw to push the Loctite up through. So you only need like a drop. One tiny drop. Not much at all. Put too much on the screw, then it'll push it down into the bush and seize stuff up. Can you pick up that bag right near your feet?
Here we go.
So one tiny drop in the thread.
So, what? Really?
Yeah.
The lower or the upper?
Or
What I usually do is just put a bit on my work area.
nah, on the plastic bag.
Yep.
Squeeze it on the plastic bag. Okay.
Be a bit more generous than that.
Yeah.
This is the XTR medium strength stuff.
So what I was saying is I don't put it on the screw.
You don't,
No.
because you don't want it to get into the plastic.
I don't want it to get into the bush part down the bottom. So you put it inside the thread.
Yeah. Am I doing the outer thread?
Turn it upside the way. Yep, in there. Bit, yep, just wipe it. Yeah. You don't need a lot. So what'll happen is the screw will then see it. See the
Yep.
Loctite on the top of the screw?
Yep.
I don't know, can you actually...
There should be like a glossy bit.
That's out of focus. But you'll see, you'll see the gloss of the Loctite on the top of the screw because the screw's pushing it through.
And you don't want that in the bush.
You don't want it on the screw, because if you put it on the screw when you're screwing it, the Loctite will build up around the base and then push down. By putting it in the thread...
Just getting myself
Yep.
a little tissue, a little lint.
So we also need to put in the spacers, because the spacers... Can you open that bag, please?
Of course.
There'll be 2 1mm spacers. This is to set the bump steer.
We're going to need plenty of bump steer on this one, mate.
I don't like any bump steer at all.
No.
No. So you need 1 mil on there, please.
1 mil on here.
Alright, we'll just set that there.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
What have you got?
So that's on.
Here goes your HQ, mate.
Yep. And can you put some Loctite inside that one there?
Of course.
Slightly longer
A bit of a
screws.
cloth there, mate.
Yep. So then we've got to put the nut, and because the thread is put into the aluminium, screws pushed it through, we don't wipe it off, because then the little bit that's left on the screw, the nut
We'll take up.
will use that Loctite to secure. Okay?
This will ensure that none of this steering rack assembly is
Well,
going to come
well,
loose.
you don't want the nut to come off, because then... Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Still
I'm
gotta-
scared to touch it in case the bearing falls out.
Well, in case you lose it,
Yeah,
drop it on the ground.
you're a bit loose. Could go anywhere. What's happening now?
Just going to put this other one on,
Yep.
and the bearings are falling out. That's the only part I don't like about aluminium.
Well, it's not a press fit, is it? So you
No.
really just want to
If
put
it's a
them in
press
both.
fit, it just makes it difficult to get them out. Alrighty, so that's...
Give it a wipe over.
There you
Look at
go.
that.
that's your steering bell cranks, and
It is
Drag
factory
one.
looking.
it's pretty nice, isn't it, really? So you need to put in, you can do this.
Oh.
Alright, you need to put in your ball ends with 1mm.
Yep. Got my 1mm spacer here.
Yep.
And they go in from the front,
No, that's the back.
like this.
Yeah, that goes in there. Alright,
Yep. Put this one in.
that's it.
Get that in nice and straight. Make sure we don't strip it from the get-go. Just wind it all the way in.
Just nip it up. That you don't need to actually over tighten it, just nip it up.
That's the last thing we want to do. Over tighten it. Stretch it all. So you don't just like over tighten it then back it off quarter of a turn. Lots of people do that.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what you did when you were an apprentice.
Not quite. Well, I tried not to, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't happen.
Happens to everyone.
But that's how you learn. There we go. Look at that.
Done.
Starting to
So-
look like a piece of engineering.
So that's the steering. The only one we've got to put in is this one here.
Yep.
Now that will be this one here, and
How's it looking?
the thing here is with this one,
Yep.
we're going to just put it in and we're going to leave it loose.
Lucy.
The
Loosey-goosey?
reason why is in the manual they don't put any spacers underneath it,
Yes.
but I do,
Why do you do that?
because when you put your servo in and set it all up, the actual the link from the servo horn to
Yep.
this can be on a really wild angle at times.
Okay.
So it can either be down or whatever. So I leave it and I set
Adjust
it
it,
up
shim it to
accordingly
suit.
to whatever.
And that's, I suppose, how the servo sits in the ears against the chassis.
Yeah, and whichever particular servo horn, the height, we'll be using a 15.5mm
Yokomo one?
Yokomo centre to centre servo horn, and I normally will run it around 2mm spacer underneath that.
Yep.
But we'll do that a bit later, okay?
Absolutely.
So that's that part done, which is this step here, step 2.
So now we're up to step 3,
We go to step 3, which is
the Bellcrank base installation.
these two little posts.
Yep, steering posts. Can we call them steering
Yep,
posts?
and they have, and this is something key, they're 1.5mm hex drive internally.
Yep.
Okay, not always, because they're so small, the driver doesn't always go in properly.
Okay.
I have damaged one when I first built my first one.
Because you didn't have the tip all the way in.
Well, I didn't have the tip right, and I over tightened it, and what it done is it flared this top section out
And
here,
you couldn't get the bearing
and I
in.
couldn't get the bearing on. Okay, so
Classic Healy.
well, yeah, just
You-
full hack.
But you've learnt. And we'll grow from it. And that's
Yep.
why I'm going to get an awesome car.
So this one here,
Mm.
you got threads here.
Yep. Got Fred.
They got a screw into there.
Do we need a bit of Loctite on
So
that
you
bad boy?
just dip it like.
Yep.
Oh, actually, let's get that over here.
Yeah, get that. Sorry, I thought it was in the way.
So just a little bit of Loctite, not too much. If you've got too much, just wipe it like that.
And that goes straight into the chassis.
Just it threads into the chassis, steering posts.
Great design. Go on, mate. You look awkward.
Nah,
Make sure you get your tip in there nice. Wiggle it around.
these ones here, the actual tips.
Well, that'd be like new, that one.
Is
The
it?
1.5, yeah. This one here's probably had a bit more work. So
Well,
Max
we'll
one.
see how that one goes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can see what you mean. There's
Yeah,
definitely...
they're very tight. They're very, very tight. So you just nip them up. That's why
Yep.
you've got to use the Loctite, because if you try and over tighten them, you damage them.
I'm just getting it in there. Just a bit of a wiggle.
That's it.
That's it, mate. We'll call that done.
Now this next part, the Bellcrank base is plastic.
Yes.
Okay. We're not going to put the Bellcrank on yet. We're just gonna. I'm gonna put it on and just show what actually happens. This is probably the most important aftermarket, not aftermarket, the option Yokomo part to buy.
Yep.
This particular one here. You buy the aluminium one because it goes on like this. It stops the bell cranks coming off.
Yep.
And you got the 2 screws that come up through the bottom plate into that plastic.
Yep.
So if you have a really bad crash and it gets a lot of load or like a lot of stress, you can pull the 2 screws out of that plastic piece.
Clean out.
And what happens is then the bottom arm mount gets loose and starts moving on the chassis. Yep. Okay? So we don't have one with us tonight. I think because you sold the last couple today, didn't you?
That's right. That's right. I definitely did because they're such a hot part. But
yeah. So we're just going to put the plastic one in it.
Yeah, we'll put the plastic one for now.
And you can replace it later.
Yep. Oh, well, there's a good chance that I'll rip this one clean out then. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
High likely. So if you're doing that, the other thing you don't get in the kit, which I suggest you get, is some little shims. These are 3.1
by
ID.
5, yep, by 5.
By 5 millimeters OD, and they're 0.2 of a mil thick.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're effectively blueprinting the car as we're building it.
What you find with aluminium, anything aluminium, not like plastic. When plastic is molded and stuff like that, it's not the same tolerance as a CNC machined aluminium part.
You wouldn't expect it to be, no.
Right. So you'll have swelling, flashing, all sorts of things going on, and it'll generally fit tighter than anything aluminium, because aluminium will be measured, machined and CNC to the precise measurement size, so there'll be some movement left over.
A bit of tolerance.
So if we use the plastic bell cranks with the plastic one of this and put it all together,
yep,
these here, even though I don't have the bearings on them,
yep,
they wouldn't float like this.
Yep.
But when you put the aluminium ones on, you get a little bit of float, and with aluminium, I'll leave the bearings off for this exercise. If you get too much float, you get too much flex like this.
Yes. Okay,
which add it all together, you get excess slop.
Yep.
Alright. So what'd you do with that, what do we do with that little razor blade?
That's right here, mate.
So
it just scares me when you got a knife in your hand, that's all.
Well, just behave. So all the cars I've built,
yep,
every single car I've put them on, I have found that I've either had to put 0.3 overall or 0.4 worth of shims on these posts.
Well, let's hope we got 0.4.
So these are we're going to go with 0.4.
Yep. With all the things I need, all the help it can get.
All right. So there we go. 2 shims on each post.
As easy as you like.
Yep.
Put the bearings.
Pop a bearing on each one.
I definitely didn't flare the edge there.
No, all good.
All good. Look at that. Oh! Look at that.
It's like a Swiss watch.
Better. It's a Japanese Swiss watch.
Well, yeah. So we put the... That's pretty nice.
That's pretty swank. Isn't it? This is why Yokomo's #1. Beautiful.
Yep.
How much steering throw we're going to have?
Oh, you're going to have heaps. You're not even going to be able to drive it.
The truth.
So we put that on and we push that down. And now...
And that's an integral part of the car. Which
I'll hold that tight. And you try and see how much slop that's got.
Oh, that's sexy. That's how much slop that's got.
That's got none.
I'm quite aroused by that. That is beautiful.
But it's nice and free.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at it swinging.
It's nice and free. Now that's 0.4, so that's nearly half a mil of shimming. Yep. So if we didn't put the shims in, that's nearly they float up and down.
Yep.
Which
you're going to get across the 2 bell cranks effectively.
Yeah. Well, it's just horrible feel, you know. Yep. Like when you got something it's all sloppy and stuff, it's just not good. Alrighty. So that's done.
Yep. What are we up to now? What step are we up to?
Well,
got the bell crank in.
Next one is, we just move them because they go into the camber mount later.
Yep.
Is the lower the new lower aluminium mount.
And talk to us about that. What's special about this? This is a pretty exciting new part that we've got here.
So this is the new lower mount. On the
Yep.
previous versions, it's been plastic.
Yep.
And it's just been 0. So whether you have it that way or you turn it upside down that way, the offset's still the same.
The same, yep.
Okay, but this one is 0 that way or plus 1 millimeter.
1 mil that way. Got the steering rack in. It is silky smooth.
Yep.
We have assembled it with the plastic Bellcrank base.
Yeah.
The future upgrade is probably going to be the alloy one.
Well, we'd
but
have
you
it
know
if you hadn't have sold them all.
That's right. If we hadn't have sold them all, then we'd definitely have one in. But this car being a team car sort of gets a least priority.
I've got a few of those, so when you smash it and break it, I'll give them to you, okay?
It's not going to get broken, mate. It's not going to get scratched.
Yeah, sure.
What have you got there you're playing with in your
All
hand?
right, so next part
Yep.
is the new aluminium front arm mount.
And this is one of the new parts that's unique to the 3.1.
Yes, correct. So it's roll center adjustable.
Yep.
So you've got 0 on one side.
Yep.
And we flip it over and it's plus 1 millimeter, which means the hole is offset 1 millimeter.
Yeah, which is a good idea because it saves you trying to shim that. You know, in the previous incarnation, to change roll center, you would try and shim that or put spaces there.
So in the previous, I had carbon
Spaces.
made for there, and I machined up new dowel pins longer to
Allow you to adjust the roll
well,
center.
when you put the carbon plate on, that wasn't locking into that aluminium. Wasn't locking into the
the dowels.
the
into
dowels
suspension
properly,
block.
and you'd whack something and it would twist like that.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway, so they don't have to worry about that anymore because we've got this.
They've done it for you.
Yeah, Yokomo have done it for us. So
And it's alloy.
it's alloy. So
Yeah.
you do not need to buy an upgrade
No. And on the Cal car, it's steel. Is that right?
because they need to keep the front end down. They need the weight in the front of the car
Yep.
to keep it down. So on the carpet, because so much grip, traction, and acceleration, it helps to keep this on power steering.
Yep.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So there we go.
That's a good feature. Do we need some screws
Yep.
for that bad boy?
We do, and
Alright.
you need screws
Yep.
3 by 15, if I can read that right.
3 by 15, the countersunks, I'm tipping.
Yep, countersunk heads.
That is bag number 3. I've got those here. That's a meaty screw.
Well, they've got to go through there and up into the base.
They've actually put different size screws in this bag.
Have they?
Yeah.
That looks pretty long for 15. But then again,
Do we have a scale? Let's have a look, see. Let's have a look. That's why there's a scale here. There's definitely
that's
different
18.
size.
I reckon that's 18.
Yeah, so it is actually 18 and 15 do come in the same bag.
There's 15 there.
15, let me just put this over to scale, mate. I'm
No, I
not
can
just
tell
taking
straight.
your word-
I
I'm
can
not
tell
taking
straight
your
away,
word
mate.
for it.
Yep.
So
15.
it is in bag 3. There you go, punters. In bag 3, there's 3 size screws.
So I could see that.
You could.
Yep, I'm just testing you.
All right. How many of these have you built?
A couple.
Not enough. Let's go.
All right. Smash that in there.
Smash that in.
That's one.
And I can definitely see where the alloy Bellcrank base would be a positive upgrade.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
If out of anything, that is the number one
Because that's
option.
quite an integral screw.
Yeah.
You don't want that coming loose. Because over here you've only got the bumper. Is that right?
You got the bumper, but what you got to understand is the top screws into there.
Yep. So
Okay.
there's not a lot of meat there.
There's not a lot of thread.
Yep.
And now you notice that's not quite as free, but
Yeah.
it's very smooth
It's all torqued down.
with the shims.
Oh my god, yes. Look at that.
Yep.
Oh, and there's no sloppy jalopy at all.
No. So what we'll do is we'll get to the end of this page
Yep, and then we'll call it quits for this episode.
and we'll have a snooze.
Alright. Well, it's been a long day. It's taken a fair bit longer to build this.
Yeah, BJ's been nothing but just
Grief.
no. He's
Oh, right.
He's done an awesome
I'd
job.
like to put, is this plastic?
Yeah.
Is there not metal ones available for this?
Well, there's an option aluminium one.
Yeah. Do we use
but
that or not?
But you don't need it.
No, alright. There you go.
Do you,
From the horse's mouth. You don't need that bit.
Do you plan the crash?
No.
Okay.
I will, but I don't plan to.
So ball stud.
Ball stud.
Okay. And
Washer.
roll center spacer.
Yep, 2 mil.
Or washer, 2 millimeters.
Yep.
And notice position outside.
Outside position.
Yep.
So there's 3 holes outside short camber link.
Short
Is that
camber
what we're
link.
saying?
Yep.
And these have a nut on the bottom too, is that right?
Nope.
Oh, this is for the top, right.
The nut goes inside
Captured.
this.
Yep.
So when you put the bumper bar, do you want to find the bumper bar?
I can find the bumper bar. Is it in another parts bag?
It'll be somewhere.
Alright. Excuse me while I do the old reach around. We do need a bumper bar on this car. It's probably going to get a workout.
I don't think a bumper bar is really sufficient for you. More like a bull bar.
Bull bar. I might need a bumper bar on the back. Because I don't think I'll be able to catch people in front. No. No, there's not one in here. I'm pretty confident.
Did you have a girl look?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that you can say that, mate. Did I have a good look? No.
Well, they say if you
my wife says because you had a daddy look, and then she has a look and always finds
they
it.
say if you have a girl look, you'll find it, but if you have a boy look, you won't.
Oh well, let me have a girl look then. Where is it? We really need a little bit more space. We've got shock towers. We've got arms and pills. Transmission cases.
Well, you don't need any of that.
Radio tray.
Yeah, you don't need that. Don't need
Diff
the diff
ridge.
either. Diff's no good to you.
Here we go. Front arms.
Well, look at this. There's the bumper bar just swinging in the breeze.
Well, let me get in there.
Look at that.
It's going to be...
That's nice and clean and smooth. That'll probably more look like it's, I don't know, been to Iraq and back after you've done a few batteries.
Yeah, been chewed at.
Yeah. Anyway,
Camber link.
ball studs are in.
Ball studs.
2mm spacers underneath each ball stud.
Yep.
And set to go.
And that's roll centre adjustment, isn't it?
That's your upper camber link adjustment for your roll centre.
Yep.
2 nuts.
Yep.
Being the plastic one, it's not threaded. So you got to sit 2 nuts in the top here.
Yep.
The aluminium one
There's 2
is
nuts.
machined.
2 nuts sitting over here as
Yeah,
well.
yep. Aluminium one's machined with threads already in it, so you don't need the 2 nuts on the aluminium one.
I like the positive lockdown of the nuts. I think it's good.
I
It's going to keep it
well,
lightweight.
they just fall out all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
if you turn them
I
upside
like
down.
the aluminium one because it's aluminium.
have we got screws?
I don't know, have we?
What screws do we need there, mate?
Let's just
You're
have
gonna give me
a just.
Going to give me a bum steer again?
No. See this part here?
Yep.
We need to put that part on because the bumper bar comes after all this goes on.
Okay.
Alright. So you've got your wing mount.
Wing mount.
Okay. Just take notice on the front camber link, the position it goes.
The orientation, yep.
Yeah, the flat at the front and the recess or the offset at the back.
Because that'll change the position, obviously, of the camber links.
Yeah, well, it's actually it just makes it stronger for you when you hit stuff.
Oh, mate, stop it! You're giving me a complex. I'm not going to put the wing mount on.
You're not?
No,
You're not going to go.
I'm going to go wingless.
All right.
I don't
okay.
want to smash it off the first run. I'll wait till I get
Yeah.
good enough to have it on there.
So that clips on like that.
Yep,
Okay.
holding it all together nicely.
Now you're going to put the wing mount on, but you're not going to put the wing on the mount
Okay,
because the screws are determined length with the spacing of that.
yes.
Of
Otherwise,
the-
we'd have to put shorter screws in. Is that right?
Yep. So we're
Yeah.
not going to do that.
No.
So you want 2 button heads,
Button heads,
3 by 15 mil
3 by 15 mil. That's in bag number 8.
for the
And-
front, and you want 2 3 by 15s for the rear.
So we want 4. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
There you go. And these are
Give
all
the
in
man
same
a chocolate he can count.
chocolate.
Yeah, Freddo Frog.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying anything.
Don't let fear hold you back, mate. Just say it. All right, get that in there.
So we screw that down.
Not too tight. Tight enough.
Well, yeah, as they say, keep screwing it down until it strips, then back it off half a turn.
Right, this is my car, mate. None of that treatment here. How's the 9 steps hex driver going? You like that feel?
Yes,
got a nice knurling, pretty aggressive.
You know, I like it because it's just a solid barrel.
Yep.
It's not
That's not this trendy
the really flash Aramax one
ones.
looks cool as.
But it's not super practical, is it? Not when you're building. When you're doing lots of wrenching,
It's hard to hang on to.
yeah, because your hands get a bit sweaty. When you're doing lots of wrenching, when you're just
Do
servicing
you
the
know
car
what?
or
Do
adjusting,
you know what the honeycomb ones are made for?
for lightweight, for racing.
For on-road guys.
Are they?
Yeah, because they like to look pretty. Off-road guys are just rough. We're all rough.
That's funny. What's on the front counter, mate? Tell them all.
Nothing.
No?
No.
No new BD10s?
No, that's Nathan's car.
Oh, okay. So we're getting this one together. So that's the front bulkhead. What do we call that? The front.
That's
Yeah,
the front bulkhead.
front bulkhead's on.
So this pretty much finishes off.
And we're going to call it here for the day. Come back and reassess. You can put yourself back together.
So here we have.
Talk us through what we've done.
So we've just built the steering. You got this nice, smooth, firm, not too loose feel. It's got no slop, no up and down slop or movement. We put that in, but we haven't put the spacer underneath that until we set the servo up and stuff like that.
Yep.
And we've just put the lower mount on. I actually start with it down, +1 down.
Yep.
Just for a lower roll centre. Makes the car a bit smoother to drive.
Yep.
Okay.
need
Less responsive in the front end.
Yep.
Which if you're
I'll need to dumb it down.
well, it just takes away that instantaneous bite in the car.
Yep.
Anyway, so pretty straightforward.
What step are we up to?
Oh, we've just powered ahead and we've just done step 1 to 3.
1 to 3. So we're looking step 4 and beyond.
Yep.
So at this rate, I think we're going to be up to about 8 episodes on this build. No, I think we should start the motor on in the next one. That said, we're not rushing.
No. Tonight we've mucked around a little bit, talked a lot of crap.
But this is what it's about. We're not just showing how quick you can throw one of these together. We're
No.
explaining bits and pieces.
Look, seriously, if you've built a few, I can do one of these in 2.5, 3 hours.
Yep.
Okay, start to finish. I don't even look at the manual, you just go bang. But once you've built a few, you know exactly straightforward what you're doing. You know which parts you're replacing with the kit parts. You know
what shims you need.
what shims, all that kind of stuff, and you just rip into it.
Yep.
Okay, you can spend ages and ages polishing bits and pieces and stuff like that. Hinge pins, shock shafts.
I'm
all
a
that
hinge
kind of stuff.
pin. I'm a hinge
Yep,
pin polisher
yep.
from way back.
But I don't do it. I personally don't do it when I build a car brand new. I do it after I've run it in,
First
and then I
rebuild.
pull it apart because you got to pull it apart and clean it all.
Of course.
And they wear into the plastics and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Then I clean everything up.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah.
There we
That's
go.
it.
Well, that is episode 1 of our DTM 3.1 build. That man there is Simon Healy, and I'm Brett. We're from Hearns.
And don't forget the awesome work from BJ
That's right. We wouldn't be here without him.
behind the
100%.
scenes.
Thanks, guys. I love your love.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
We're Hearns, and thanks for watching.
See you later.